Alright, so if you want to learn how to install a fan, stick around. This is our guest bedroom. We don't have a fan yet, and we figured the summers are approaching, so let's put a fan here. What we do, we have this little block in the room, so we take this out of the equation. What I did was consider this as a square from this wall onwards. So from this wall onwards, I made a marking right around. You probably can't see, it's that little pencil dotted line here. So from this point, then I made a diagonal line right at the corner of the other square, and that's where I drew this line. The next step was I did the measurement from this point that I showed you to the end of this wall, and that was about 143 inches. Divide that, come to 71.5, make a point there, and using this Black & Decker laser beam, right, put that point across and make sure that this intersected with my diagonal that I created first. And that is exactly where I get the center point. And the circle you see around here is drawn using this little equipment. That is that's what you need for installing the fan. These two sides will hook up on the joist right up on the attic, and this is where your fan will hang. So stick around if you want to see more of it. We've just started, but I just wanted to show along in terms of how to locate a center point on the ceiling for the fan. So catch you in a second. Okay, so since we located the center point, now it's about time to make a circle. So this is a south wire saw, and this is a drywall knife. I think about $10 is what I paid back in the day, and this is one of the best tools I've had, and pretty good actually. I love this one, so just don't use it on yourself. All right, so we're done with the hole now. There's obviously a lot of foam in here, so we'll figure out what to do with this. Okay, so we are installing this Harbor Breeze Crosswinds 52-inch ceiling fan that also comes with the remote for you to have an easy access to turn it on and off, and also control the lights and the speed. But let's get to the fan installation because this was a bit tricky, so I want to show you here. It didn't come, so it comes with this is your motor, the fan. This part comes as separate, so we had to install this with 3 little screws. It also comes with the plate. This is the plate, but again, if you're doing a closed ceiling installation, then you don't need this plate. It comes off from this base. You also do not need this piece for a closed installation. So all I'm using is this little cup holder. I'm calling this a cup holder, and screwed this, and this is the wire. Now this wire harness is an easy connection here. It will get connected to this receiver that came in the box, so it's a simple kind of clip on. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll show you when I get there. And then this is your white and the red. That's your red is your hot and white is your neutral. And then you also have a ground cable which is attached to this. So the live feed that will come from the source, the white and the black, will get connected here, the white to white and the black to red, and then your neutral will get connected to this piece here. So that's just, these are all the 3 pieces that we practically need to get this fan mounted. So now we will go to the mounting part, and also this is your piece that will get installed on the stud. So you will use 2 screws, one from here and one from here, that will go on the ceiling like this, and this is where this thing will get fitted on, and that way this thing is not coming down. So let's get there and then we'll catch you in a second. Okay, so moving along the installation process, this is a live outlet, so I'm going to be drawing a cable from this outlet, and I'm planning to install the switch right around here, so it's right at the entrance of the room. Now, so what will happen is we'll have the fan cable, the 14 to Romex, will come right from the fan cable somewhere around like this, and then it will come right around behind the wall, right around here it will come out. And same thing, we will fish the wire from this outlet, probably go all the way up and then right up to the ceiling, and then bring it down here. So at the end of the process you should see two cables coming in, one from the outlet, one from the fan. The one from the outlet, what we'll call it as a source cable, and the one from the fan will be obviously the fan cable, and then we'll show you the next step of the installation, so stick around.
Now is it?
Okay, so we are now making a gang box, putting the gang box for the switch for the fan. So what I did was just put it backside, upside, or backside front. Just did the measurements here, rough measurements, and then I'm using again the drywall saw here and made this rough cut. So again, these are rough measurements because I don't want to make a larger hole, so I'd rather make a small hole first and then go by that. Okay, excellent. So now we have this hole, so we will see oh, amazing, look at this on the left side. We got right on the drywall is where we got the cut, so that is amazing.
Where is the cable?
The cable is coming up, so let's see if I can find the cable. Oh, look at that, we got the cable. So that was amazing, it was yeah, so we had the wire. We are working with very good estimates here, with good educated guesses, and the cable was right in my finger reach. So now what we do is we'll just push this thing. So I'm gonna probably bring the wire up from this box, and then we'll slide the box back in the hole. So let's see. Alright, so we have these two wires coming in, one again from the fan source, which is coming right from the from this fan center. And then we also had the outlet cable, which is what we labeled as line source, that is coming from the outlet that I showed you before. So we just pulled the wire right from above. So now I'm just going to cut the jackets here with 6 inches gap, and so that way we can have enough room for these cables to move in. And this. Okay, so we've made this far. You saw the hole that we made from the bottom of the room. Now, if you have an attic space, that's godsend for any ceiling related work. It just makes life much easier. I can imagine if I didn't have the attic space, how I would be doing all this that I'm doing now. So anyways, we got the hole. Now I'm gonna just put this in the hole right here. This thing is movable, so we get it here. Now this is called a ceiling electrical box. If you're looking for this to install a fan, cost about $2.50, so not a whole a lot expensive, but that's where you just put it in. And now once it's put in, then you just flush this with your joist and screw this up. So I got some Phillips screws. These are 2.5 inches, so much more than enough to give a strong grip. So we'll get to that now. This is just a dry run. This is not how it's going to operate, so don't worry, we're not breaking any codes, but just want to check that we have the hot cables here. Now again, the source, the neutrals are connected together, the ground is connected together with a pigtail that will go to the switch, and these two hots will go to the switch because this each on and off switch has two brass nuts. And also this is where the fan connection is. So let's just check. This is the hot, so we have everything set up. Now all we gotta do is just hang the fan. So you guys hang in there while we hang the fan. Okay, so we are on the final stage of the installation. We have put this bracket mount using these two, I believe these are M6 screws, round headed, and so we just slip them in with the Phillips screwdriver and using a drill. And now this remote sensor will lay here, and then we will show you the next step of the final step of the process. So hang in there. Okay, this is an important part of the installation. You have to put this screw here and this here, and the reason for that screw is when we lift the motor, these grooves is what will catch with those screws, and that way we don't have to keep holding it forever. So once those screws gets into these grooves, then we will just use the rest of the other two pair of the screws to screw this tight up. So this is another important step. So there was a hook on this mount. So on this mount, this is the hook that is emerging right here. So I just put this motor into the mount, so into that hook. So now I have a play and I can do all the wiring connections without really needing anybody else or holding it. Even obviously I can't do that if I have to start making those connections. So the hook is really helpful. So now we're going to go to the connections part. Okay, so we got the wires in. Now this is the last part of the wire. We just, as it was shown in the manual, just hung this around these two clips. It also kind of takes care of the sensor, so kind of sensor, it kind of overlaps the sensor. And now these two will just simple kind of connect. So let me push this in here, and I think we are almost there with the installation. Okay, at this point all the wiring is done, so now I'm gonna just take this thing out of the hook and then flush this in with this hole and then tighten the rest of the screws, and we should be good with the fan. Good morning. So I'm pretty sure you must be looking forward to seeing the final take on this. The switch is done. We have the hot both the blacks hot connected to the brass. Now the red one, I taped it because this is coming from the line source, and it's always a good idea to indicate which of the two blacks is your line source, so you know that one is going to be hot. uh, this one, obviously, if you take it out, it won't be hot anymore, but don't touch it right now. Then the neutrals are connected together, so let's have a moment of truth. That this is a remote that came with it, so we're going to turn the fan on, and it's all right. So it works, and it has a light. So yeah, it's a 3-speed fan, Harbor Breeze. You can obviously slow down the speed if you want. Uh, the good thing is now you can keep this remote anywhere around your nightstand, your bed. So the switch is going to be fairly, just out there as a main plug. But yeah, the project, I would call this a done project. So thanks for following it up and watching. If you have any questions in terms of the connections, the wires, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to respond. Have a good one and stay cool now.